within Swara Village, there was 200 homes in this region completely destroyed. You know, one of the things I've noticed is the houses are made of this beautiful flagstone. You can imagine what this stuff would cost back home. But then I was also thinking of the weight. You could see I'm obviously straining to pick this up. But imagine this falling and crashing on top of the people in this village. I am amazed that only 20 people died in this area.
This shelter is pretty typical of what we're seeing around this village, that the people are sheltering under 2 or 3 families under this little tiny dwelling that are just crammed in here. This roof is just sheet metal, and you can see the sun coming through, which means that as soon as it rains, the water just will come right through and there's no protection there. But thanks to your help and your giving, we're going to be able to provide tarps, so at least they're going to be protected from the elements.
This is Pradeep. He's one of the leaders here of this village, and he was telling us that his home used to be 3 stories, and when the earthquake hit, he was up on the top level adjusting an antenna, and he was yelling down to everybody, how does the picture look, how does the picture look? And then the earthquake struck, and so he jumped down. His son was on the bottom level as all of this rubble began to crash down. Some of the other villagers ran in and pulled his son out, but Pradeep didn't know that, and so he ran in 3 separate times looking for his son. And so boy, this place is just devastated. This was a storeroom for the village here, and I'm hearing this as we travel from place to place, that there's food trapped under this, and as the rain comes, it ruins the food. So this was their wheat harvest. These people labor so hard to be able to store their food and get through the seasons. That's why it's so important that we continue to bring in food for these families. Today we're going to be able to bring about 33 pounds of food per family, which should last them at least a month. And so we are so grateful, but we want this support to continue, especially in light of the fact that monsoon is coming. These people are going to need this type of relief. Behind me is the local high school for the village. Over 650 students attend that high school. The earthquake happened on a Saturday, or they would have been in school, and so we rejoice. We can't imagine the death toll if it would have been during the week. But also to my left, you'll notice a blue tin roof. That was the one and only existing church here in the village. It's been completely flattened. Again, as we tour the village, we've come across more and more folks just like these that have lost everything. Their house was destroyed, and they were able to go back in and pull out a few things, but we're noticing as we go from place to place that the people here in the village are certainly fearful. They don't want to rebuild using rock. They've made makeshift housing. This is actually a little area that was just built for their animals, and this woman and her husband have lived in this village their whole life. They have 3 children, and this is really all they know. And so again, we just want to bring back these stories. It's hard to hear them, but we want to encourage you guys to pray about coming alongside families just like this one.
We just sat up here for about 45 minutes and prayed. And as we were praying, it just really struck me as to the contrast that I see all around me, the beauty of all the scenery that is here in God's creation, and then just down here in the valley, the devastation, the homes that are destroyed, the suffering, the tarps that you see, the orange tarps that dot the hillside here are all temporary housing and temporary shelters. And I really was struck by David's psalm in Psalm 61. Hear my cry, O God, and attend to my prayer. From the ends of the earth I'll cry unto you. And truly, that's our prayer. That was our prayer just moments ago as we sat on the hillside here and prayed. And I pray that that's your prayer also. And one other prayer that I would recommend that you make from Isaiah 6. Here am I, send me.
From the mountain, go on and tell it to the masses that He is God. So, and we will sing, and we